Hi, this video is going to show you how to combine like terms. That's a big thing in algebra. And we're going to do a handful of problems together as well. So first, I guess, what is a like term? So what is a term? This could be a term. This could be a term. This ugly long thing could be a term. Any of that. So like, in other words, so if I am looking at 3x and I say, hey, what are the other things that are going to be like terms that 3x can combine with? It has to have something that has a plain x. No x squareds, no xy's. So this would be a like term. This would be a like term. And this would be a like term. But this is not a like term because of that y. And this is also not a like term because it's an x squared. So 3x can only combine with things that have plain x's. 4 can only combine with other plain numbers because that's all it matches. This ugly looking term can only combine with things that have x squared y attached to it. All right, so let's try some of these. Let's say that we have 5x minus 10 plus 4x plus 6. All right, and when I teach this, I just say start from the left and work your way through. So the very first thing that we have here is a 5x. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, since I put the 5x in a box, I'm going to go through, and anything else that's a like term, I'm going to also put in a box. The thing to keep in mind is include the operation in front of that like term. So as I go through, negative 10 is not a like term. It doesn't have an x. Aha, 4x is definitely a like term. But I want to put the plus 4x because that plus is attached to the 4x. And then the last term in this expression is 6. That is not a like term. So now, especially if there's negatives involved, which there isn't here, but you struggle maybe with adding or subtracting integers, you have just told yourself what you're going to type in the calculator if you're not great at adding or subtracting. You would type in 5 and then plus 4. 5 plus 4 gives you 9, and then just attach that like term. We don't change that variable at all, okay? Now we go back and we have a negative 10. It was originally a minus 10, but now that minus is turned to a negative 10. And our other like term that goes with that is a plus 6 or a positive 6. And again, if you struggle, grab your calculator. You've told yourself what to type in, negative 10 plus 6, and you'll see that the calculator gives you negative 4. I know that I have to stop here because there's a subtraction sign between them, and these are not like terms, so I can't go any further with that problem. All right, let's try another one. So let's say this time we have 9a squared plus 3a minus 6 plus 4a squared. All right, again, just start at the left, and we're just going to look for the like terms. So I have an a squared term. As I travel through, 3a doesn't have an a squared, 6 does not have an a squared. Aha, my last one does, and I need to include that plus. Okay, 9a squared plus 4a squared. Well, 9 plus 4 is 13. And just attach the variable with the exponent exactly as it is. All right, I go through back again from left to right. I have a positive 3a. There's no other terms that involve a plain old a. So that's just part of our answer. And that means the same thing happens with our negative 6 or minus 6. There's nothing for it to combine with, and so we just include that part in our answer. I know that I'm done because I have an a squared, an a, and a plain number, and they cannot add or subtract together. All right, let's try another one. Let's say that we have 15m plus 6 minus 7m minus 8m minus 6. A little bit longer. This time we have 5 terms. All right. Again, I am going to be looking for like terms. Starting here on the left, 15m, I'm looking for any other m terms, and I want to include the operation in front of them. All right, and again, if you're nervous about adding and subtracting negatives or positives, just grab a calculator. What is 15 minus 7? That will give us 8. And 8 minus 8 gives us 0. So we don't have any m's to write down, so we're not going to write any m's. Okay? And now let's go to the plain numbers. We have a positive 6 and a minus 6. Well, what is 6 minus 6? That's also 0. So sometimes you'll get problems like this, and it feels really strange that you get 0. It feels like you're doing something wrong. But honestly, it happens sometimes, and you have to be confident in your answer. to be able to know that it's okay to have an answer of 0. Let's see. Let's do one more. I think that should be pretty good. Let's do 13e plus 6f minus e minus, I don't know, let's do 10f. All right, so what we're going to keep doing the same thing that we've been. We start at the left. Are there any other e terms? Scrolling through, I see this. All right, now there's no number in front of this second term that has an e. So when there's no number, that number is actually called a coefficient in math. It sounds really scary, but it's just the number in front of a letter. We are allowed to put a 1 there because if it doesn't have a number in front of it, you only have one of them. Okay, so now it's easier to know what we're doing. What is 13 minus 1? 13 minus 1 is 12. Again, we just put the variable after it. We have a positive 6f, and we're subtracting 10. Again, our circles are telling us what to type in the calculator. We ignore the f. So what is positive 6 minus 10? That will give us a negative 4. And again, we plop that f down at the end. I know I'm done because I have an e term and an f term, and they cannot subtract. All right. I hope this helped, and I hope you have a better understanding of what like terms are. There's also another video that I have. It's Combining Like Terms Advanced. It deals a little bit more with positives and negatives, and there are some parentheses thrown in as well.